Hey everyone, I know you're probably already thinking about all those Black Friday deals coming up, and I bet your Homelab is at the top of your mind. So today we're going to dive into some Black Friday strategies specifically for home lappers. We found this awesome article that's got tons of potential deals on like everything, lifetime software licenses, crazy hardware finds, even some tools to help you avoid those fake deals that pop up everywhere.
Yeah, Black Friday has kind of become like this massive event for home lab deals. I think it's the perfect combination of, people looking for deals, companies offering great discounts, and then that whole DIY spirit that home labbers have.
I love that. The stars aligning for home lappers. All right, so let's jump right in. This article talks a lot about duplicacy for backups, and they say that duplicacy usually has some pretty sweet lifetime license offers. So for someone who's maybe new to the home lab world, can you explain what's so great about a lifetime license, especially for a backup solution?
Oh yeah, for sure. So grabbing a lifetime license for something like duplicacy, it's almost like future-proofing your home lab. You're making this one-time investment, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. And think about it, your home lab is always changing, right? You're always experimenting with new stuff. Your data is always growing. So having a solid backup solution is super important. And what I like about duplicacy is that it does incremental backups. So it's only copying the changes that were made since your last backup, which saves you a ton of storage space and time. Plus it works on like all the major operating systems, Windows, Mac, Linux,
Yeah.
which is perfect for a home lab because you're probably running a bunch of different operating systems.
That makes a lot of sense. So I've been looking at those huge hard drive deals, those 12 terabyte drives and bigger. But how do we know that we're not like sacrificing reliability just to get a good price?
Yeah, that's a good point. The article suggests checking out places like Server Part Deals and Micro Center, especially for refurbished drives. You can often find amazing deals on high-capacity drives from those places. And they usually come with warranties, too. So you're not really taking a gamble on your data just to save some money. It's about finding that balance between price performance and knowing your data is safe. Nice. I'm adding those to my list right now. Server Part Deals and Micro Center. Oh. Okay, this article also talks about Synology surveillance station licenses. I know a lot of people use Synologies, but are there any like alternative options out there? Maybe something a little easier on the budget? Yeah, there's actually a really cool open source option called Agent DVR. And the best part is that it gets rid of those camera license fees altogether. Now, it might not have all the fancy features of a paid solution like Synology, but if you're comfortable with a little bit of DIY, it's a pretty powerful platform.
So it's like a trade-off then, right? You save money, but maybe miss out on some of those extra features. Okay, moving on. The article also mentions VPNs for self-hosters. And we know that Black Friday usually has some really good deals on VPNs, like ProtonVPN or NordVPN. Why is a VPN so important for a home lab?
Well, it all comes down to security and privacy, and those should be top priorities for anyone running a home lab. Think about it. You've got all these services that are accessible from the internet. So a VPN encrypts your traffic. It creates a secure tunnel, basically. So it adds this extra layer of protection. It's not just about accessing content from different countries. It's about making your entire home lab environment more secure.
Got it. So a VPN is definitely a must-have. Okay, this next one might be for a more specific group of home labbers. But for those of you using Usenet, Black Friday can be a great time to get discounts on subscriptions and indexers. I have to admit, I don't know a whole lot about Usenet.
Oh yeah, it can be kind of niche.
So could you explain what it is and why someone might use it in their home lab, and what are those indexers all about?
Sure. So Usenet is this giant network for sharing files. It's been around forever. And some people use it for all sorts of things in their home labs, like retrieving data or even for backups. Now an indexer. It's kind of like a search engine for Usenet that helps you find the specific files you're looking for. There are a bunch of indexer services out there. Newsgroup Ninja is one example. And during Black Friday, a lot of them offer discounts on their subscriptions.
So it's all about making it easier to find the data you need.
All right, cool. So this article also mentions mini-PCs becoming more popular for home labs. Brands like Beelink and Minisforum seem to be everywhere. What's driving that trend? And are there any specific mini-PC models that we should watch out for this Black Friday? I think mini-PCs are getting popular because they're powerful, but they're also really efficient and affordable. And they don't take up much space. So they're perfect for home labbers who might have limited space. Or if you just want to keep your energy bills down. I think the Beelink N100 and the GMKtec G3 are getting a lot of attention right now. They offer a great balance between performance and price. So keep an eye out for deals on those.
All right, mini PCs are officially on my list. This article also mentions a tool called Shodan. And honestly, it sounds kind of intimidating. Is this something that the average home labber should worry about? And what kind of deals do they have for Showdown during Black Friday?
So Shodan is often called the search engine for the Internet of Things. Yeah, it sounds a little scary at first, but it's actually a really useful tool for understanding how secure your home lab is. It's like being able to see your home lab from the perspective of someone trying to hack into it.
So it's a vulnerability scanner, basically?
Exactly. It scans the internet for devices and services that are publicly accessible. So you can see if there are any weaknesses in your home lab security before someone else finds them. You might find out that a service you thought was only accessible within your home network is actually open to the entire internet.
Wow, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, and you can usually find discounts on Shodan memberships during Black Friday.
Okay, I'm definitely going to check that out. So we know that Proxmox is a popular choice for virtualization in home labs. But Proxmox itself is open source, right?
Right.
So are there even any Black Friday deals related to Proxmox?
So you won't find deals on Proxmox itself, but you might find discounts on support licenses or other tools that work with Proxmox. Those can be really valuable, especially if you're running a complex setup with lots of virtual machines.
So it's more about the ecosystem around Proxmox and Proxmox itself. Okay, before we get too excited and buy everything, we need to talk about those fake Black Friday deals. How can we make sure that we're actually getting a good deal and not falling for some inflated discount?
You definitely need to be careful. Don't just believe those too good to be true offers. I always recommend using tools like Camel, 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 and the Keep a Browser extension. They track the price history of products, so you can see if that Black Friday price is actually a good deal, or if it's just a marketing trick.
Love it. Knowledge is power, especially during Black Friday. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about power, literally. Everyone knows that having a reliable power source is super important for a home lab. What are some things we should keep in mind when we're thinking about power backups? And are there any specific brands or deals we should look for during Black Friday?
You're absolutely right. A home lab without a reliable power backup is asking for trouble. One power outage and everything could go down. Battery backup solutions are a must, specifically UPS units. They protect your equipment from power surges and outages, and they give you enough time to shut everything down safely so you don't lose any data. APC and CyberPower are two brands that make really good UPS units, and you can usually find some great deals on their products during Black Friday.
Awesome. That's perfect timing. Okay, so we covered a lot in this first part of our Black Friday Home Lab deep dive. We talked about software, hardware, and even those all-important power solutions.
Yeah, we're just getting started. We've got even more insights and potential deals coming up to help you make the most of this Black Friday.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back with part 2.
All right, we're back. I don't know about you, but I'm already getting excited for Black Friday. So many deals, so little time, right?
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. But I think before we get too carried away with all the deals, it's important to take a step back and think about what we're really trying to do with our home labs.
I like that. It's easy to get caught up in the hype and forget about the bigger picture.
Exactly. So think about it. What's the main purpose of your home lab?
That's such a good point. It's so easy to just buy a bunch of stuff because it's on sale.
Yeah.
But we should really be focusing on things that will actually help us achieve our home lab goals.
Right. Whether your home lab is for learning, experimenting, or running services, having a clear purpose will help you make smarter decisions during Black Friday. So it's like a filter. It helps you separate the good deals from the distractions.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's fit back to the article and see what other Black Friday gems we can find. Speaking of gems, the article talks about network-attached storage, or NAS for short, as a potential Black Friday target. And I mean, who couldn't use more storage space these days?
That's for sure. It seems like we're always running out of space.
I know, right? And the article specifically mentions high-capacity drives, like those 12 terabyte drives and bigger.
Yeah, those are definitely popular. Think of all the stuff you could store on a drive that size.
It's crazy, but like we talked about earlier, finding reliable drives at a good price can be tricky.
It can be.
The article mentions refurbished drives again.
Yeah, refurbished drives can be a great option.
From places like Server Part Deals and Micro Center. But for someone who's maybe hesitant about buying refurbished,
Sure.
what are some things to look for to make sure you're getting a good drive?
The first thing I would look at is the seller's reputation. Are they known for selling quality refurbished drives?
That makes sense.
And do they offer warranties on the refurbished drives?
So you have some protection if something goes wrong.
Exactly. And of course, you want to pay attention to the drive's specs, like its rotational speed and cache size,
Yeah.
to make sure it meets your needs.
So it's not just about the price. It's about making sure you're getting a reliable drive.
Right.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about security again. We talked about VPNs earlier, but this article also mentions a tool called Shodan. And I have to admit, it sounds a little intimidating.
I can see why you'd say that.
For someone who's never used Shodan,
Okay.
what exactly does it do and why is it important for Homelabbers?
So imagine you could see your home lab through the eyes of a hacker. That's basically what Shodan does.
Oh.
It's like a special pair of glasses that lets you see all the vulnerabilities in your home lab's security.
So it's like a vulnerability scanner.
Exactly. It scans the internet for devices and services that are publicly accessible. And it shows you any potential weaknesses that a hacker could exploit.
So you can fix them before someone else finds them? That's pretty amazing. I'm definitely going to have to check out Shodan.
I think you'll find it really useful.
Okay, let's move on to something a little less intimidating, but still very important. Battery backups, or UPS units as they're sometimes called.
Yeah, UPS units are essential for any home lab.
Especially if you're running critical services, you don't want to lose everything just because the power goes out.
Exactly. A UPS gives you enough time to shut everything down safely, so you don't lose any data or damage your equipment.
This article mentions APC and CyberPower as good brands for UPS units.
Yeah, those are both reputable brands.
And Black Friday is usually a good time to find deals on them. Aside from brand reputation,
Sure.
what are some things to consider when choosing a UPS for a home lab?
The first thing to consider is the capacity of the UPS. It's usually measured in volt amps or watts,
Okay.
and it determines how much power the UPS can provide and for how long.
So you need to make sure it can handle all the devices in your home lab.
Right. And you also need to consider how long you need the UPS to run in case of a power outage.
So you have enough time to shut everything down?
Exactly. Another thing to consider is the number and type of outlets on the UPS. Make sure it has enough outlets for all your devices and that the outlets offer surge protection.
Right.
And you might also want to look for features like automatic voltage regulation or AVR. It helps protect your equipment from voltage fluctuations.
So it's not as simple as just buying any UPS.
It's not.
You need to choose the right one for your specific needs.
Exactly.
Okay, so before we move on to the last part of our Black Friday deep dive,
Okay.
I'm curious, what's at the top of your Black Friday wish list this year?
That's a good question. I don't know if I have any specific items in mind, but I'm always on the lookout for things that can improve my home lab, whether it's hardware, software, or even just some cool new gadgets.
I like that approach.
Black Friday is a great opportunity to find those missing pieces that can really take your home lab to the next level.
I agree.
So I'm excited to see what deals are out there.
Me too. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back for the final part of our Black Friday Home Lab deep dive. All right, we're back for the last part of our Black Friday Home Lab deep dive.
Time to finish strong.
Exactly. So are you ready for some more deals and strategies?
Always.
Okay, perfect. So let's talk about software deals. This article mentions Duplicacy. Have you ever used that?
Yeah, I have. It's a really cool backup solution,
Okay.
especially for home labbers who like flexibility and efficiency.
I like the sound of that.
And the thing that makes Duplicacy really special is that it uses incremental backups.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
So basically,
Hmm.
it only copies the changes that you've made since the last backup, instead of backing up your entire system every
Right,
time.
that saves a lot of time and space.
Exactly.
And the article says that Duplicacy works on different operating systems, too.
Yeah, it does. It works on Windows, Mac, and Linux.
Which is perfect for home labbers.
Totally.
Because we often have multiple operating systems running.
Exactly.
So it's nice to have a backup solution that can handle all of them.
It is.
And get this. The article says to look out for lifetime license deals on Duplicacy during Black Friday.
Oh, yeah. Those are awesome.
That's amazing. A lifetime license for backup software. Why would someone want a lifetime license instead of a subscription?
Well, with a lifetime license, you only pay once.
Okay.
And you get access to all future updates and features.
So you're basically set for life.
Pretty much.
That's a great deal.
It is.
All right. I'm adding Duplicacy to my list.
Good choice.
Okay, let's move on to something a little different. Home surveillance. This article mentions Synology surveillance station licenses.
Yeah, those are popular.
But I remember you mentioned that there's a more budget-friendly alternative.
Oh, yeah, there is. It's called Agent DVR.
Agent DVR. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between Agent DVR and Synology surveillance station?
So Synology is a paid solution,
Okay.
and it has a lot of features,
Right.
but it also comes with those camera license fees.
I see.
Agent DVR is open source,
Okay.
so it's free to use.
And You can connect and manage a bunch of different IP cameras without having to pay any license fees.
Wow, that's a big difference.
It is.
So basically, you save money with Agent DVR,
Yeah,
but you might not get all the bells and whistles that you would with Synology?
right.
That's a good trade-off, though,
It is.
especially for people who are on a budget.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about software, hardware security tools,
Right.
but there's one more thing we need to talk about:
What's that?
power.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Super important. The article talks about battery backup solutions, specifically UPS units.
Yeah, those are essential for any home lab.
Especially if you're running critical services, you don't want to lose everything if the power goes out.
Nope.
The article recommends brands like APC and CyberPower for UPS units.
Yeah, those are both good brands.
And Black Friday is a good time to find deals on them. Aside from brand reputation, what are some things to think about when choosing a UPS for a home lab?
So you want to consider the capacity of the UPS.
Okay.
That's measured in voltamps or watts, and it determines how much power the UPS can provide and for how long.
Right, so you need to make sure it can handle all your devices.
Exactly.
And you also need to consider how long you need the UPS to run in case of a power outage.
Right. You need enough time to shut everything down safely.
Exactly.
Another thing to consider is the number and type of outlets on the UPS.
Okay.
Make sure it has enough outlets for all your devices,
Makes sense.
and that the outlets offer surge protection.
Right.
And some UPS units also have features like automatic voltage regulation,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
which helps protect your equipment from voltage fluctuations.
So there's a lot to think about when choosing a UPS.
There is.
It's not just about buying the cheapest one.
Nope. You need to make sure it meets your specific needs.
Awesome. So as we wrap up our Black Friday Home Lab deep dive, do you have any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Let me think. I would say, don't get too caught up in the hype of Black Friday.
That's good advice.
It's easy to get overwhelmed by all the deals. So take your time. Make a list of what you need
Okay.
and stick to your budget.
I love it.
And most importantly, have fun.
Yes, have fun with your home lab. Well, that's all the time we have for today. We covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We talked about software licenses, hardware upgrades, security tools, and even how to avoid those fake Black Friday deals. We hope you found this helpful and that you're ready to tackle Black Friday like a pro.
Good luck, everyone.
Happy deal hunting!